Hello, hello, hello. I don't know who is here, if anybody's here yet. All right, I see 6. Here we go. I see 6 people. Yo, Glorious Dave has been with us from the start. Loving it. John's here. Stephen's back. Mindogos is back. Wada. Hello again. Emmanuel. Hey. Helen back again. Matt says welcome back. Jag is here. Mike, I'm going to put my glasses back on. Way! This is my favourite part of it. School photo. I can't hear you, Karen. You've not got your mic on.
I got rid of it really quick this time.
Oh, I liked it. We're all just everybody's only tuning in so they can see that, and you took it off too quick.
Oh, not funny.
Round 5, still fresh. Whoop, whoop. I'm glad you are, Jade. I'm glad you are.
Somebody send us wine.
I mean, yeah, I've really. You got to stay in the zone a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, but enjoying it. So Nick says, woohoo, back for another session. Looking forward for this session, which is good. Hello, Matt and Queen Karen. What?
That must be Emmanuel.
It is Emmanuel, but hang on. Why not King Matt and Queen?
No.
Why are you getting called Queen? Why does Ollie and you get like all the juice? And then like me and Beck, I don't know if Beck's here. Are you here, Beck? Why does me and Beck get like forgotten about?
Beck doesn't get forgotten about.
Oh, just me then. Great. Hey, Emmanuel. He's made it right. King Matt. Yay. Woo-woo. Right, so we're just waiting for people to filter in. It's only 1 minute past, so we'll give it another 2 or 3 minutes and see. Princess Matt, Glorious Dave says, don't get me started, Dave. That wasn't my best impression either. I could do a much better impression, but I don't want to offend no one, so I won't. No one could forget Bex. Where is the JD, Matt? No JD for me. I'm looking forward to maybe, if Holly can make it happen, going to see The Last Jedi tonight. But at 12:05. So it'll have been a long day. It'll be an excuse for another monster. Tracy says this feels the closest I've come to working from home ever. Oh, that's kind of cute, I think. Who is the milk tray guy on the left? Is that me? Am I on the left? Or is Stephen on about like this shadowy figure that he always tells us about? Stephen, every time we ever do a live or a B live or a webinar or whatever, Stephen is always there trying to tell me that someone's behind me. Hi, Fran. Good to see you back. I'm on the left. It must be me now. I'm the milk tray guy. I like it. With my £15 internet glasses. Matt's on the left, Karen on the right. Jam on toast doesn't warrant kink status. Oh, fair dues. To be fair, we've only got Hartley's best as well. I tell you the best jam. It's that McKay's from Sainsbury's. Real good. I think it's Scottish jam. You need a Zara coat on, Matt. I'll go get my Zara coat on then, Paul, so I can spit on it after. I gave up my day job after all your advice. Now I work for myself. Thanks, Matt. Oh, I should screenshot that. That's a testimonial right there. No, that's great, Richard. Just kidding aside, I'm happy for you, mate. As long as it's working out for you, that's what we want. At the end of the day, you can work for the man forevermore, but I'm not going to get very far in life doing that. Stop then, didn't I? You should at least have a side hustle. Even if you are happy working for the man, you know, I get it. Some jobs are all right. You should at least have a side hustle. Mince pie, anyone? I would love one. Vegan. I would love a vegan one. Cat. Hey, Josh. Only just able to join and obviously missed a lot of the fun. I'm sure this has been asked before, but is there any chance this is being recorded? Yes, Josh, it is being recorded. but I don't know if we'll be sharing it. Maybe we will. We'll have to see. We'll have to see it, but it is recording. I've checked, so I wasn't sure at first, but it is. I've got the recordings. They're just slow at processing because they're big video files. Tracy says, I sent you a video, Matt, about making millions to my 20-year-old son, and you've inspired him too. Oh, that's good, Tracy. I love it. This stuff's lovely. Hey, you know what? I don't need to change your life by putting money in your pocket, but I will if I can. But even if I can't put money in your pocket, if I can change this and make you, I don't want to say a better person, but make you see things maybe in a different way that is more advantageous to your future, then that's a win. Right. Lucas, we'll have to see about the recording thing. I mean, who knows? I might just bang it on YouTube, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not made my mind up yet. We'll see what happens. Valentina says, totally so important, our mindset. Yeah, absolutely. Tracy says she's got to get him on board, so he looks after her in her retirement. I tell you what, Tracy, he'll look after you. Don't worry about that. Even if they started off as bad kids, I was a bit of a troublesome kid. But I do the very best for my parents, and I don't think either of them would have ever expected it from me. But I've turned out all right. I'm a good kid. Right, okay. So there's 127 people in here. We've been averaging 180 people, which blows me away. You guys are awesome. But at the end of the day, we will have to get started at some point. So I can't wait for the other 50 people forever. It's 4:05, so in 1 minute we'll get started. Got anything to say, Karen?
Don't think so. I think we've got the exciting bit coming up now, and then the best bit, I think, at the end, Q&A. I think that's absolutely the best bit. So
I agree.
We can cover everyone's questions.
Yeah, definitely, totally agree. The best bit is the interactive bit. So this is all right, but this is us talking at you with a little bit of interaction. The last module, which is the next module,
which is the next and last module.
That is just going to be us going, bring it on. Bring it on. Everything. Tell us everything. Ask us anything you want. As well as on a Sunday night, because the answer would be yes. Unless you're Karen, she puts her school uniform on. Right. Okay, so let's do this then, peeps. 132 people. The rest will probably filter in at some point. 133. They're coming. Right, so Karen, do you want to get started, or do you want me to get started, or what?
I think the first thing we're going to talk about was seller feedback. And I think as a new seller, you think seller feedback's really important, and people get quite worked up about seller feedback. If you are doing FBA, seller feedback doesn't really have an awful lot of meaning. It does potentially in terms of the algorithm for who gets the buy box, but you can get the buy box with absolutely zero feedback. You don't need to have feedback to have the buy box. It's not like eBay where, you know, your seller feedback is really important. It's not like that. If you've got that buy box, you can make sales irrespective of whether you've got any feedback or not. Because as Matt said before, people tend to think they're buying from Amazon anyway. They don't really focus on who the sellers are particularly. Most people, 95% of people don't focus on who the sellers are. So seller feedback doesn't really matter. You don't need to go out of your way to try and get it. Just ignore it, let it do its thing. However, you do need to make sure you pay attention to it, because if you get any negative feedback, you need to be dealing with that. And if it's not about the product, and you know, if you can, sometimes you can get feedback taken off if it's not appropriate feedback. So if you think the feedback isn't right, then you should contact Amazon and have a chat with them about getting it removed, because you shouldn't keep bad feedback on there because of the fact that what are you doing?
I think I'm being a naughty kid, Karen. I think we're at the extent of my attention span. Like, I think I'm just being a naughty kid. So carry on, ignore me, please.
Can we just get through to the end of this one, then you can be a naughty kid in the next one?
All right. Right, I'm on it. I can do this. 1 more hour. I can do this.
Go on, you can talk. You talk about the rest of seller feedback then.
No. Go on.
So anyway, so I think if you've got any feedback that's gone on there that you don't think is right, you don't think is fair, then you need to contact Amazon and get it removed, because a lot of the time they will remove it. I think that's about all I've got to say about seller feedback. You got anything to add, Matt?
Yes. So the times when seller feedback does matter is when nobody's got the buy box. Now, sometimes if Amazon deems your price to be inappropriately high, it will say no chance. You're not ripping our customers off. Nobody's getting the buy box, but it won't remove you from selling that item. So what it says is nobody gets the buy box, but if somebody wants to click through and can clearly see this is not an Amazon item, this is from a particular seller, then they can do that, and then they can choose the product from the list of sellers. And having said that, I would guess that way over 90% of sales probably go through the buy box. I don't know. I've got no hard facts or figures for that, but I'm guessing most people buy from the buy box. So if they click through and there's a list of sellers and there's you with your 86% feedback, and you're the same price as somebody else that has got 99% feedback, or you can bet your bottom dollar, all else being equal, the seller is going to go, oh, I'll buy from that guy with the 99% feedback or the 100% feedback. So it can matter, but it doesn't matter as much as you think. If you're a new seller, don't worry about it too much. So the other things I want to add about it are, so Karen touched on it, but basically there's a few reasons why you can get your seller feedback removed. One of them being if they leave product feedback in your seller feedback, you can get it removed. You just type into the help bar in Seller Central, you type in feedback removal request, and then it comes up product feedback removal request tool or something like that. Click that, do a few shebangs, so a few little taps on the keyboard, boom, it's gone. Typically, it uses some kind of algorithm to remove it. Increasingly, I don't think there is any algorithm. I think it is Amazon just tend to, and that thing alone, they tend to err on the side of the seller. And if it's got like probably one of like 10,000 keywords in it, Amazon just remove it and say we're responsible for the fulfillment experience. The alternative is they could get a support rep to kind of argue with you, and it goes nowhere and waste them a load of time. So they've decided we'll in most cases we'll just side with the seller. So what happens is you request removal of product feedback in the seller feedback section of your account, and then it just gets automatically wiped. So that's a good top tip. A lot of people don't know that, believe it or not. It's not an advanced tip, but there's a lot of online arbitrage sellers that do not know that still, and they've been trading like a year or something, and they still don't know it. So great little tip. So if it's anything to do with speed of delivery, if it's anything to do with products or anything like that, you can get it removed. Basically, if it's anything to do with FBA or delivery, that's not you, that's Amazon if you're using FBA. And if it's anything to do with products, that should go in product feedback. Even if there's a bit of a mix and there's some seller and some product feedback in there, the very fact that it's got product feedback in there means it can go, because that shouldn't be in your seller feedback if it's product related. So you can keep a very high score, very clean slate on Amazon by using that little kind of, I don't want to call it a loophole, but that little loophole. And that loophole has been open for at least 3-4 years. Shows no sign anywhere. Anything. And before things about selling on Amazon, you can. Big value for you there. If you don't know about it, if you didn't understand that, ask us at some other point and I'll explain a little bit more. But yeah, other than that, try and maintain good seller feedback, but it doesn't make as big a difference as anybody would initially think. That's my thoughts, Karen.
Okay. Right, so go on.
I was going to say, we're going to talk about ungating now, aren't we?
We can talk about ungating next, yeah?
Oh, what did you want to talk about?
No, we can talk about ungating next. We've got a nice long list of things to talk about, so ungating is as good as it is to do next.
Right, I'm going to make an introduction, then I'm going to keep my gob shut. That's my mouth to our American friends. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. That might even be northern. Is that northern? Do you say gob? Karen?
Yeah, down south as well, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, it's an English thing then. I'm going to keep my gob shut, so I'm going to introduce Karen. Karen is the UK's ungating queen. There's not much that Karen doesn't know about ungating, and she doesn't like to toot her own horn or blow her own trumpet, so I'm going to blow it for her. Honestly, free information right here. Extract, guys, because she knows it. Go for it, Karen. Over to you. That's your introduction.
Thank you. Okay, well, what I was going to talk about really was the difference that getting ungated can make in your business. Talk about what to do and how to go about it, but mainly the difference of what it can do. Now, if you're a sole trader, you will have a tougher time of ungating any main categories than you will as a limited company. As a sole trader, you can still get ungated. You can ungate the toy subcategories, and subcategories seem to be much easier to ungate as a sole trader than the main categories, because the main categories are pretty barred. Because what happens is, as a sole trader, if you apply for ungating as a main category, unless you're VAT registered, which the chances are you're probably not if you're a sole trader, but if you are VAT registered, the rules are different. But if you're not VAT registered, then when you apply for ungating, you will come up this brick wall that they ask you for a business license. Now, up until about June or so, something like that, a copy of your UTR letter from HMRC would suffice.
Karen, just 1 second. Karen, 1 second. Listen, someone's raised a good point. You are the ungating queen, but a lot of people on this don't even know what ungating is. So we probably need to backtrack just a little bit and tell them what ungating is and why it's important to them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ungating is when you're selling on Amazon. Obviously, there are loads of different categories. You've got toys and games, you've got beauty, you've got health and personal care, watches, jewellery, home and garden, all of them. And they're all called categories. And some of those categories are free for every seller to sell in. And some of those categories are gated. So you can't sell in those unless you go through a process with Amazon to get ungated. Now, getting ungated doesn't mean you can sell every single thing in that category, because there will still be things that you are not allowed to sell because there's certain restrictions on certain products, or they've got too many sellers on a product and they might restrict it for that reason. But getting ungated is the process that you go through with Amazon to allow you to sell in all these extra categories. Now, that's category gating and ungating. There's also brand gating and ungating. Now, brand gating is when officially a brand has contacted Amazon and said that they don't want anybody else selling their brand. So Amazon restrict that brand and no one's allowed to sell it. And sometimes you'll have seen that if you put an ASIN into your Seller Central, when you want to sell a product, it will say you are not entitled to sell this brand or something like that. You need approval to sell this brand. And most of the time that means that the brand has been restricted, but it's not all the time. Amazon use that to their advantage a little bit as well, because sometimes they will restrict, they'll say that the brand is restricted, but other people can sell it that are not necessarily brand ungated. And also when you get ungated in other categories, that can release some brand gating as well. So it all gets a little bit messy. It's not just as simple as if it says you need approval to sell this brand now, today, that it will still say that in 6 months to you. It does change. So you need to keep an eye on that and don't assume just because you can't sell it at one point means you can't ever sell it if you're going through a process of ungating some of the categories. Now, there's some areas of that probably won't change, like maybe Nike or some of the big ones might not change. And if you want to try and get ungated in some of those big brands, what you have to do is send a letter to that brand and ask for permission to sell their brand. So that's very different to category ungating. And that is all there is to brand ungating. And they'll respond to you and say whether you can or whether you can't sell their brand if you get a response. So you can always give that a go by just writing that letter. But category ungating requires you to go through a process to get ungated in all those different categories that you can't already ungate. Now, quite recently, for a lot of sellers, they have made beauty and health and personal care ungated for a lot of sellers. Not for all, but for a lot of sellers. But then they've moved a lot of the products that were in those main categories into subcategories that are then gated. So like, for instance, with the beauty one, they ungated beauty, which sounded amazing. Then they moved probably 95% of the products that were in, I don't know what Matt's doing, 95% of the products that were in beauty into ointments, which meant that you still had to go through ungating and you still needed to go through the process. It was just called something different. So if you want to get ungated in something, you will need to find wholesale. What are you doing? You'll need to find wholesalers And you need to make sure that those wholesalers are accepted by Amazon. So don't use like a cash and carry or places like that, like Macros and stuff like that won't work. You need genuine wholesalers. And if you find a genuine wholesaler, you can always ring Amazon and ask them if they'll confirm whether they will accept that wholesaler. They won't always tell you, but most of the time they'll say yes or no, but they won't give you a list of wholesalers to use. So you need to buy some products in the category that you're looking for. How many you need to go you buy depends on which category it is, but quite a lot of the time it's 10. But there's still different elements of that need, because like sometimes it will be you need 10 products and they all got to be one ASIN, and sometimes it will be, well, you need 10 products, but you've got to have 5 different ASINs. So every category has its own restrictions in terms of what products there are. So, and as a limited company, you can ungate all the main categories and all the subcategories. Now, even if you're a limited company, I wouldn't suggest you do all of them at once, because what you'll find is when you ungate certain categories, Amazon free up bits and pieces in some of the other categories as well. So don't assume that just because you've ungated, like if you ungate ointments, you might find some of the toy restrictions are lifted. It's a bit weird how it happens, but I think the ungating process gives Amazon a chance to get to know you a little bit better. And the more they get to know you, the more they trust that you're a decent seller and you're doing the right thing, the more some of those restrictions lifted. Now, as a brand new seller, sole trader, it's really tough and it's hard because there are a lot of restrictions. But you've just got to plow through that and wait until you get past that point. Now, you can do that by ungating, or you can do that by just giving your account time to grow and to age, because once your account has grown and aged quite a bit, then Amazon start doing the odd free ungatings. Now, they don't happen so much for sole traders as for limited companies, but they do still happen. So you can, but you're probably talking about a year or so, 6 months, a year before you'd get any of those happening. So the first bit is tough without getting ungated. So as a sole trader, it is a really good idea to ungate maybe a couple of the toy subcategories, and give those a go, and it widens at least what you can sell, because you'll come up against so much as a brand new sole trader. As a limited company, if you're starting out as a limited company, then just get on and get your ungating done, because it will make a massive difference to your business, a really massive difference to your business. I think that's probably all. If for any of you that don't already know, although I've given this tip so many times, I can't believe anyone doesn't know. I don't know if they're still doing it, actually. I haven't done it very recently. But for a lot of you, what you'll be able to do is if you go into your Seller Central, go and don't all do it now, though, do it over a day or so. Go to where you put your ASIN in, type in apparel and choose a product and just request approval. And it was just literally going through straight away for all sellers. Now, I don't know if that's still the case, but that was the case a few months ago. But it's probably worth giving it a go. But as I say, don't all do it right now, because there'll be a bit of a rush on it, and then Amazon might wonder what the hell's going on. But yeah, there is the ability to do that, and that was working a little while ago. But I don't know if it still works, but it was definitely working. So give it a go. And I think that's probably all I can really tell you about ungating. Choose your wholesaler really well. Make sure you buy the right products for the right category that you're looking for. Make sure you do your research properly, because otherwise you'll end up buying a load of stuff that isn't relevant from the wrong place and you'll waste a ton of money. So make sure you do your research really, really well. Make sure you're using proper wholesalers, and make sure that when you first click it, you request approval before you start, go down and read exactly what it is you need for each category, because every category is different. Now, recently, they've started asking for a declaration of conformity on certain categories as well. So you'll find that out when you click whether that's your category or whether it's not. But if it is, what you need to do is before you start purchasing any products, you need to get in touch with the manufacturer or the wholesaler and ask if they can supply a declaration of conformity for that product. So don't just assume that's something you can find afterwards. Make sure you check it out before you spend any money. Because a lot of wholesalers will help you with it. If you get a good wholesaler, they're interested in their customer service. But if they're just there to take your money and sell you some goods, then they're not really interested in helping you any further. Then you're going to struggle with that. So give them a call first, make sure they're going to help you with that and get that for you. And I think that's probably it on ungating. I think that's probably about all I can cover. Matt, have I missed anything?
Just this.
Yeah, we saw your great pictures. Thank you.
No, that was a whiteboard one. This is no, this is a real whiteboard one. Right. So yeah.
That's
so no.
a piece of paper.
Huh?
That's a 40p piece of paper.
That cost me 40p plus the
Good,
ink.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That means a lot.
Dedication.
Like, I'm going to be like, Beck, you need to order us a new pad of paper because I just used it all drawing pictures. Right, so that is Amazon. That is a gate. And Karen is gated. Now, there is told you about the fact that all that higgledy-piggledy is fine, but she can help you actually do that. Actually, she can do it for you. So did you mention that? You didn't mention that, did you, Karen?
No, I didn't mention that. But you can go onto the website, which is www.getungated.co.uk. So there's loads of information on there about ungating. There's a blog with some information on there, and there's a course that takes you through it, or you can hire me to do all the work for you.
Yeah, so basically, if you want Karen to do the ungating for you, she can do it for you. And I tell you what, she got me ungated in beauty in 15 minutes. And I'm not even joking, it was 15 minutes. That's not 15 minutes from the first moment I spoke to her, but from the moment we submitted the application to Amazon, I think it was 15 minutes before they went, yeah, ungated. I was flabbergasted, beauty like that. And you know what? A lot of people end up saying like, oh yeah, I've been trying for 2 years. I've tried 10 times and I bought $1,000 worth of stock before blah, 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 blah. And then Karen just comes along because she understands how Amazon works and she does this all the time. She has a lot of ungating clients. She does this all the time. She knows the ins and outs, and as it changes, she knows. So tomorrow it'll be different today. It just always is. The basics stay the same, but things change. Well, she stays on top of it because she's always ungating clients. So if you want her to do it for you, then go to getungated.co.uk and she can get you ungated. Now, I'm not sure are you doing the US, Karen, or not?
Not at the moment, no. The US takes a lot longer.
So now, right, there's other people doing this ungating thing, okay? But there's a lot of people out there photoshopping invoices and even setting up fake wholesalers. They're not real wholesalers, right? We know of people doing that. I mean, I'm not the type that's likely to try and cause problems for anyone. I'm focused on my business. I'm building. I'm not trying to cause problems. But if I was the type of person that wanted to cause problems, knowing what I know, I could literally destroy so many Amazon accounts, and I never will. I'm not that kind of person. You don't need to be worried about me. That is not my bag. What I'm saying is not everybody's like me, and I know that what is going on with these other ungating services. So you come across one of these guys and you get ungated with a fake photoshopped invoice. You might not even know it. Well, that photoshopped invoice doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't disappear. People think once they've been ungated, that's it. No, that invoice sits on Amazon's computer. Now, what happens when somebody comes along that doesn't like you and wants to cause you some problems, and then they write to Amazon and say, oh, you know, this seller, they fake their thingy because I know for a fact, blah, blah, blah. And then they look at it and they go, actually, you know, and it's not just some random guy in Philippines or India or something looking through it. It's somebody in the US maybe that's got a bit of a Photoshop background, and they go, they're not going to care that you used a service to get ungated. Properly. She makes you buy stock properly, so you get ungated yourself, but it's through the proper process. There is no comeback. There's no burning of accounts. There's no 2 years from now when you've set up some private label brand and you're doing $1 million a year sales. There's no them coming back and going, oh, I don't like this photoshopped invoice that we've figured out. These 30 different sellers have all got, boom, kill your account. That doesn't happen because it's legitimate. So all I'm putting out there is not all services are the same. Not all things are made the same. Do it properly if you're going to do it. Hopefully with the information you've got today from Karen, you'll be able to do it yourself. But if not, Karen is really, really, really good at doing this and doing it properly, not like these other people. And I'm pointing no fingers. I'm not trying to cause any problems with anyone. I know who is and who isn't doing stuff, because you'd be surprised what I hear on the grapevine being in this position. But trust me, Karen does it properly. She did it properly for me. I had to buy some stock, but we're not talking like £1,000 worth of stock. I think the stock cost like a tenner, maybe £5. The delivery for the stock costs more than the actual stock did. So it's low cost. Get it done properly if you're going to do it at all. That's my little rant out there. Anything to add on that bit, Karen, before we move on?
Don't think so.
Loving my gate.
Love your gates, great.
I'm sorry, I am like a naughty kid at the minute. I'm really trying to behave now, but I'm sorry for my little outburst. I know I got told off, I think it was by Rob, which calmed me down. Sometimes I do need a little metaphorical slap. So thank you for the little slap, Rob, but hopefully I wasn't too distracting then. Have you paused? No?
No.
Okay. Sorry, did I put you off, Karen?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Made me laugh. Put me off a couple of times, but it's fine. We can deal with it.
Okay. At the end of the day, these people want entertainment as well. You know, you guys are here for a bit of a laugh as well. So sorry I went a bit too far if I did for you. And for you guys that appreciated. Yeah. Right, on to the next bit. So how are we doing for time? We're half an hour in.
Yep, half an hour in, half an hour left.
Okay, we're doing good. Right. So getting on it can be a difficult process. We can't do it all in detail on here, but if you want to, you can go through Karen's. Karen's done a course, haven't you, Karen?
Yeah.
Did you mention the course?
Yeah.
Break up. So I just broke up then. Karen did a course at Get On Gated if you want to do it yourself using her help, or she's got a service. Right. Next bit on Karen's notes.
I think you were going to talk about scaling the business and the bottlenecks, capital and deal flow and such like. You're going to talk about capital because we've kind of done deal flow and we've done prepping. So you were going to talk about capital a little bit.
For the new sellers, sorry, broke up again. For the new sellers, have you talked about the benefits of actually getting on Gated?
We've talked about how much more they can sell and all that sort of stuff. Yes, we've talked about how important it is their business and the challenges they'll face as a sole trader and what categories to do as a sole trader, new seller. Okay. Yes. If
you're not on Gated for Q1, 2, and 3, you should be. That's my little tip for you guys that are thinking about Q4 transitioning to Q1 or wherever you're at in your cycle. Whenever you watch this, getting on Gated is kind of like a key to year-round sales, somewhat. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Q1's really a really interesting time as well. Selling, everyone thinks that it's all about Q4, and obviously the sales in Q4 are amazing, and nothing else matches up to it. But Q1's a bit like the gym in February, in that all the people that were just there for the best time in January have left, and they leave all the sales to the people that hung around a bit longer. And I think Q1's a great time because a lot of the competition's disappeared because they only hang around for Q4, so they've gone. And you get the sales to yourself, and there's deals around. As long as you're sourcing those deals well, the deals are harder to find, but they're still out there. And as long as you can draw me a picture, yes.
I'm going to maximize this 40p now. Right, ready? Okay, so
you're going to draw on the back, aren't you?
Huh?
You're going to draw on the back, aren't you?
Oh. At the bottom right, you can see this, can't you? Right, this is a teddy bear. Right, let's pretend this is a teddy bear. This represents toys and games. If you're a new seller, this is what you sell. Every new seller that comes onto Amazon wants to sell this. So what happens around Q4 and in toys, this happens. This smiley Amazon happens, but it's not smiley so much for the sellers. So competition increases for toys, especially in Q4. But this is what everybody's doing because it's easy. You're not ungated in anything, but you can sell these, so everybody does. So competition is through the roof. Now, I'm going to draw a lipstick. That's a lipstick. That's a lipstick. That is a lipstick. Okay. Whatever, Rob. That's a lipstick, okay? And that's beauty. Now, yeah, you can get ungated automatically in the broad category at the minute on the UK, but there's still some category issues within it. I think you said that, didn't you, Karen?
Yeah, ointments mainly.
Right, so ointments. So, but the point is, right, this is this. Oh no, I wrote on my actual board. So this is the sellers selling toys, right? This is all the sellers. and that's what you do. This is the sellers selling beauty. Yes, they are more serious sellers. Yes, they mean business, but a lot of them respect margins, possibly more than this lot do, who are once a year kind of, let's go make a grand for Christmas. They respect the margins more, and there's typically less competition. Might be strong competition, but there's less of it typically, which means more deals for you, more money for you. And Christmas time, Q4, they're going nuts for this. All year round, they're going nuts for this. If you're a girl and you want some foundation or whatever you Americans call this stuff you put on your face that women wear, whatever, is it foundation, primer, powder, undercoat? I don't know what you call it, but whatever that stuff is, whatever that stuff is that you put on your face, you need that all year round. Doesn't matter if it's January, July, September, you still need to look pretty. So you're buying this all year round. So that's a point made that getting ungated is actually a beneficial thing. Colour the top. Don't colour the top. I'm colouring the top because
Red.
said it. Pete said colour the top. Why does he want me to colour the top? Does he mean that bit? Okay. Right. I'm drawing. My drawing's over. I'm being disruptive. I understand that. Right. So anyway, getting ungated, smart move.
Absolutely.
Right. So hopefully we told them what getting ungated is and the benefits of it and all that stuff. Right.
Yeah. So you're going to talk about capital now.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk about capital. Right. Do you want to talk about capital?
No, I think you should.
Okay. Do you think the most important part, money, and you're gonna give an overmonstered animal the responsibility of doing that? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get money in different ways. You can ask mum and dad. You can borrow it from a friend. You can do anything like that, or you can get a bank loan, or you can get an Amazon loan. So Amazon will loan you money, but it's an invite only. What's going on?
Nothing. Carry on.
What's going on?
Put you off. Just keep going. It's fine.
Are you messing with me now, Karen?
No, not at all.
What, did I not read something that was there? Karen's gone mad now.
I just thought I'd check you back, put you off a bit.
Well, it worked. It worked lovely. Yeah.
Now, come on, seriously, because capital's an important part.
Put it back. No one knows what that means, but I know. Parkour. So yeah, okay. So you can get money. Yeah, so you can get Amazon to give you money, but you need some established kind of track record with Amazon first. Come on, Matt, be as professional as Karen was. All right, Vicky, sorry. There's always a couple in there to just say, come on, calm down, boy. Right. So you can get money off Amazon, and they will lend you money every now and again, but you probably need about a year's trading history with them before they offer it you. But then they secure it against your future sales or your stock or something like that. So, I mean, it's slam dunk easy way to get some money. I mean, it's probably not going to be life changing figures until you've got massive sales. And then by that point, the money they offer you might not rock your boat. I don't know. But still, it is something to bear in mind. You get money from PayPal as well. So I should say, I wouldn't recommend borrowing money for this business model until you know what you're doing. So at first, treat it like gambling almost. It's not like gambling. It's a lot safer. But treat it like gambling in that you won't risk what you can't afford to lose. Okay? So just go down that route. And, yeah, I think I've lost my train of thought. 0% credit cards as well. Again, only when you know what you're doing, but you can get a 0% credit card as long as it's a fast-selling product. Get it in, get it out, boom, and you can pay it off. That's it. Right. So Valentina says, how much do you reckon one should invest at the beginning? I think I ended up saying something like, I'm just going to throw a couple of grand at it, because that was a very comfortable figure for me at the time, just to test the waters. A couple of grand might be a lot, but I quickly ended up spending tens of thousands on it because I was able to. But if you've got, say, £1,000 in the bank, No, it's up to you. You've got to find your own comfort and risk levels. You're going to want to start slowly to a certain extent, or at least get used to it before you go big, because you don't want to be making bad buys, and you will make bad buys. It's part of it. But hopefully, by following the advice from today, you'll minimize those bad buys somewhat. Over to you, Karen.
Okay, great. So we were then going to talk about just some ideas if people wanted to, if the people that are more experienced wanted to hire their own VA to do their sourcing for them. I was just going to talk them through some tips on how to do that in terms of getting their own VAs. The first thing you should do is create an account with Online Jobs PH. That's about, I don't know, 50 quid a month, 60 quid a month, is it? Something like that. Can't remember. I think it's in dollars anyway, but something like that. So create an account with them. You put in your advert there. I'd suggest you go into quite a bit of detail with your advert, and I suggest that you put somewhere in your advert something that you ask them a question, or put something that means they have to actually read your advert, because you'll be surprised at how many applicants you'll get that have never actually read what the job is. They just apply for literally everything that goes in there. So I would say put something in there so you know who's actually bothered to read your job spec. You'll get a lot of applications to go through, a hell of a lot. You know, if I put a VA sourcing one in there, I'll wake up to 170 emails for people that want the job. So you have a lot to go through. So you can go through each of those.
What percentage would you say of them 170 that reply to you have read versus those that haven't? What would you say?
15% might have read it.
Really? That low? Wow.
No, most don't.
So at that point, 85% delete, done.
Yeah, because then they're not reading it. So then go through them, and they all have amazing skills on paper. They really do. So then you need to go through and choose the ones that you think are going to have the skills that you need. That's a really tough point, because they all say they've got all the skills. So it's really difficult to work out who really has at that stage. You can then interview them if you want to do that on Skype. They're all very used to using Skype. So you can interview them on Skype, and that will give you a better idea than it will to just read the applications, because you'll see how quickly their internet connection is, because sometimes you'll have to wait 5 minutes for a response. So you know they're not going to be great when they're sourcing because they've got a really poor internet connection. And but they're all good at Skype, and they're all used to that. So you can interview them on Skype. I don't tend to do video to start with. I tend just to do typing to start with, because then while you're waiting for the responses, you can either be interviewing a couple at the same time, or you can be doing other things, because it's quite a slow process. And then I trial them, because even once you think you found some great ones, there's a lot of frogs to kiss, as Matt mentioned. There's a lot of frogs to kiss. So you're going to need to trial them all. Usually those should be paid trials normally. I wouldn't recommend you ask someone to work for too long without offering to pay them, because that's not fair. You know, so if you want to, I'd say pick your top 3 or 4 and then offer to pay them for the week and have them work with you for a week. And if they're no good after day 1, get rid. You know, then just pay them a small sum to say thanks for their attempt at working with you, and let them go. You know, don't keep them long term. But out of, you know, less than 10% will be what you're looking for, and probably less than that. So I'd say probably 5% of the ones that you trial, not the ones that apply, the ones that you trial will be VAs that you'd want to keep long term. Finding good VAs is not easy. It's difficult. It's time consuming. And there's a lot of them out there, and they don't all have great skills, and it takes time to find the ones with the good skills. But it's worth it when you do it. It's great, because then you find a great VA and it really helps your business. But if you want to hire your own VA, that's how to do it. And that's the tips and the strategy that we use in Bookable VA. Matt, have you left us forever? Yes, apparently so. Now he's always taking the mickey out of me, of my photo. Oh, no, you came back too quick.
What happened then?
I don't know, you disappeared. We were going to all take the mickey out of your photo.
Oh, nice.
You came back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened then. I thought technical issues. thing's gone. Right, so I've got a question for you, Karen. Leading on from what you just said. So when you first started Bookable VA, I know you said that you'd been through hundreds of what's it called? Hundreds of VAs interviews. So how many did you end up going through since? Because obviously you've got an army of VAs now. So how many did you end up going through? Would you say a guess? How many people? If you're saying 10% are good, how many would you say you've interviewed or been through the applications of?
Oh, applications we've got to be up to 400 or 500. I would have thought. I don't know. I haven't counted them, to be fair. I think all that time ago we were up to about 300. Obviously, I recruited quite a lot of people from that 300, but we've continued to. But mainly now, I'm not really recruiting that much from online jobs anymore. I am when I've got a specific job, but as I said before, we're getting quite a reputation out there. So I tend to get people just applying direct or people recommending people, which is great because then they're going through the training with our deal checkers long before they even start with us. So they start with us when they're already really good.
And now really you're getting off-market VAs. So to a certain extent, you could argue people in the job market, like they always say, the best places to recruit somebody is basically poaching them from another company because the best employees are all employed. Yeah. So obviously if they're in a job market, they're not forced to be the best. And as you say, you're finding probably 10% of the people that come through actually suitable. So they off-market. Broke up again.
Yeah,
frustrating. How frustrating. So you're getting the best of off-market employees anyway. That's what I was trying to say. Coming to you directly.
Yeah, but there's still good ones on online jobs if people want to recruit their own. They are out there. You just got to kiss a lot of frogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So what we're going to do next was a quick step-by-step guide for beginners of what they need to do to get started in their Amazon business. Do you want to use another 40p sheet of paper, or do we want to just talk about it?
I think we'll probably just talk about it because this is getting expensive.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to talk about it. So if you're brand new and you're looking to set up an OA business, the first thing you need to do is set up your Amazon account. Well, the first thing you need to do actually is decide whether you're going to be a sole trader or a limited company. So make that decision and make those arrangements based on the decision that you've made for your business. Then you've got to set up your Amazon account. You need to install Keeper and use all the cashback, set up yourself accounts with the cashback sites that we talked about earlier on. You need to download FBA Calculator and the Secret Wealth Project spreadsheet for your buys from the group that's in there so that you've got somewhere to record everything. Get yourself a file for all your invoices and everything else that you need to keep. So choose how you're going to source your products, whether you're going to do copy paste or software or Bookable VA, whatever. Choose what suits you best. And sign up for that. Analyze your deals using the training that we've used today and the more in-depth training that we've talked about and pointed you towards. Okay, you need to buy your first deals, get them prepped, get them sent into Amazon, get yourself ungated in the categories that you can do, and get started, get your business going, get rolling with it. I think, it feels like there's so much to learn and there's so much to understand, but the best way to understand it and learn it is just to get on with it. You will make some bad buys to start with. We've all been there. We've all done it. Just make sure you do shallow and wide so that any mistakes you make are limited, and just get out there and get on with it, because it seems like this big scary thing, and it's not once you do it. Once you do it, you'll understand that it's not. But until you give it a go, you won't know. So just get started, give it a go. And I'm sure it will go great. If you just take on board everything you've learned, you'll do well, I'm sure. Right, Matt, so that was all we were going to talk about in this this part, unless you've got anything else that you want to add, you think we've missed out that we should add before we go to questions for this one. We've got 12 minutes for questions. Anything else? We can't hear you.
I was going to say, I don't know if like my neighbours have come home or something and started using the internet, but my internet has definitely dropped off. I'm getting a lot of like lag issues and stuff. So hopefully you guys can hear me, but that's why I've kind of let Karen take over on that one because there's no point me talking if you guys can't hear me. So I apologize for any technical issues I've had. So yeah, I mean, that is basically the structured content we wanted to deliver today, isn't it, Karen? So hopefully everybody that's been and shared all day with us will have literally gone from the start of not knowing what an Amazon online arbitrage business is all the way through to hopefully having all the pieces and now being able to put them together and build your own online arbitrage business. So what did you, I mean, obviously we're not done yet. We've got a whole module of Q&A, which we'll jump on shortly. But what have you guys thought of it? How have you found it? The ones that have stayed with us all day, how have you found it? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been good? Is there anything we've missed out? Your time to give us a little bit of feedback and let us know. And there's still some time. We can put things right if there's something we need to cover. Just waiting for people to, they're interested in the monthly cost of running the business. So you've got an Amazon sellers account. What's that now, Karen? Is it $29 a month?
Yeah, something like that.
$29 a month, something like that. Then you've got whatever sourcing tools you're going to use. So if you're going to use the same ones we recommend, which is FBA Wizard, Fee Calculator, and FBA Wizard Bar, then I think they're £97 each per year. So that's a £200 upfront cost, but it lasts you a year. So breaking that down, what's that? Less than £1 a day. That's for your analysis. Obviously, Keepers Free. Maybe I should do this on there, really. Keepers Free. But yeah, then you're going to need a sourcing solution. So bookable VAs, either £99 a month for the UK sheet. How much is it for the US sheet, Karen?
$130.
$130 for the US sheet. She said if you've watched this and sheets, then by all means message her and she's willing to do a deal on multiple sheets. But trust me, guys, 99 or 130 or whatever, it's absolute bargain for what you get. You're getting 4 VAs working for you tirelessly, doing all the stuff that sucks about this business, and they do it for you. So it makes it kind of nice. So there's that cost. Obviously, if you use FBA Wizard or Tactical Arbitrage, there's then fees. Again, great pieces of software. Not sure exactly what they're charging, but it's pretty much similar price to Bookable VA. So it's whether you want to do it yourself with the software or have somebody else do it with you, for you, with Bookable VA. And so that's the ongoing costs, I think. Other than that, there's just like things like poly bags and FN SKU labels and bits and bobs. There's little bits and bobs, and then obviously every other fee will be a variable fee. So like Amazon fees per unit when you sell the stuff and things like that. But basically, you can create an online sales solution. You can like create sales 24/7 and have Amazon do most of the heavy lifting, their marketplace, their fulfillment, for very, very, very low cost, which is why I think so many people try it and so many people do well at it, and beginners do really well at it. But I mean, you've got to remember, starting a business is never totally free. You either invest your time and energy, or you invest your a bit of money. But you've got to remember, this business is very, very, very low cost. Your stock is going to be your main cost. But again, hopefully your stock will make money, so it's well worth it. So hopefully that gives you a rough idea of what it's going to cost you. I might have forgot one or two little bits and bobs, but there's not much to it. That's kind of it. Most of your money is going to go into inventory. If you've only got 100, maybe 200 to start this business, you might want to think about building your capital up a little bit first, or just do the copy and paste sourcing before you buy stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it. Right. Anything else? What we got, Karen?
I think mainly feedback at the moment.
Okay.
Vicky asks, what is scaling and deal flow? Well, scaling is about scaling your business, because you're looking to earn money out of your business and make it as passive as possible, so it doesn't take up all your time, because it's not a case of it's not meant to be another job. It's meant to be something that you can outsource a lot of it. So scaling is being able to build it up and make it bigger. So if you are doing things that rely solely on your time, so like if you're doing retail arbitrage rather than online arbitrage, so you have to go out to the shop to buy your products and scan them all manually, then that is going to take up more of your time, and you can only ever grow your business in direct relationship to your time, which is what you're trying to get away from by having your own business. So if you can make it passive, then it's not reliant on your time, then you'll do much better. Deal flow is making sure you've got enough deals to keep the money turning over and to make sure that you've got constant stock going into Amazon so you can sell it, reinvest your money, reinvest it, and make more all the time. I think Matt might have left us again.
No. I mean, I'm just reading the comments. They're really nice, really lovely comments. Thanks so much, guys. Jade says it's been absolutely amazing. Shelley says it's been great. I'm extremely grateful for y'all, which I'm guessing means Shelley's one of our American brothers and sisters. Well, sister. But now it's great to see you guys. I love it. I love it when Americans spend time with us. Just because we're English, I don't want you guys to think that we're like English, only English or something. I've always loved Americans, as I do Canadians and a lot of people. I always say Americans because it's such a big audience, but I love Americans. I feel like sometimes I feel more connected to you guys than to us, and I am us. Do you know what I mean? So it's really nice to see you're in here and saying things like grateful for y'all. I love that. But no, it's great to see Americans in here.
Valentina asks, do you ever do one-on-one sessions? So yes, Matt and Holly do intensive, one-day intensives, which is how I met Matt in the first place.
Yeah, so, that's how me first met.
Get in touch with Matt and Holly, and they'll organise that with you.
We don't do many. We typically don't take any on. But if you make a compelling argument as to how I might be able to change your life, and I agree with you, then I'll probably do it. But at the end of the day, I do it because I enjoy doing them, and I really do enjoy doing them. The price we charge, although I accept it's a lot of money for a lot of people, I probably make a greater return spending the time on my own business over the longer term. But we do love doing them. So swings and roundabouts, like it is kind of a passion thing that I make some money from as well. So, but yeah, if you want a one-on-one, by all means, we are here, and if we can help and we've got time and stuff, we will. So yeah, just drop us a message, support@secretwealthproject.com, and we'll get back to you. Beck or Holly will get back to you. We'll make it happen. Adam says, been here all day and been massively helpful. Vicky says, fab. Jackie says, wow, amazing. So much great info, suitable for all levels. Simon says, been here all day so far. Great value, cleared up a lot for me. Thanks. Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. Because we don't know if we're just preaching to the converted. Do you know what I mean? We're like, in the breaks, we're like, do you think they're or what you're going to gain from it? I mean, there's always going to be something, but you know, without knowing what you know, we don't know what to say and what not to say and all that stuff. So hearing this feedback does help us. Thank you. Brad says, been here all day, very informative. Alan says, what do you think is the future for FBA, and do you guys do OA yourselves? Yes, Alan, I do OA. Well, I don't do it. Beck does it for me. But yeah, we do OA. Karen, I don't think you've been doing OA since you've been doing the sourcing service, have you? Or have you?
No, isn't it ironic? You know, I've got more deals now than I'd ever know what to do with, and I don't have time to just deal with OA at the moment. So because I'm just too busy with ungating and bookable VA. So, but yeah, the council there, and it all still works.
On the flip side of that, Karen, that'll probably comfort a few people, because at the end of the day, you're selling deals, and some people might say, well, she's got access to all the deals. But the fact that you're not actually doing online arbitrage at the minute doesn't reflect badly on you. If anything, it reflects well on you, because they know that you're not basically just taking all the deals and buying them all yourself. So
that's not one. Not a single one. Not one.
You said, well, but you've not got time. Like you say, you work like an 18-hour day or something, maybe longer, 20-hour day. I go to bed at whatever time, and then I wake up, you're always online. So you sleep probably less than me. And I know I'm busy. But yeah, the future for FBA, the future for online arbitrage, I don't think it's going to change much in the next 12 months. and the 12 months after. I think it's one of them things whereby Amazon need it. They probably don't know they need it, but they do need it. You've got to think Amazon have got basically an army of sourcers going out there in all weird little locations they'd never have access to, buying all kinds of weird little products and deals. And every time you sell something, they make money from it. So I think the threats to FBA are kind of brand restrictions over time. But again, I don't know. Everybody's been saying for literally a year that so-and-so is going to get gated, it's going to become impossible and blah, blah, blah. And there's so many people still doing it and doing really well at it. So I think the future for FBA, at least with online arbitrage, is quite strong, albeit I've no crystal ball, I don't know. But I don't think it's going to change. It's not changed much in the last year. I think it's like any other business. It's going to do this, but it's going to have its bumps. But as long as you ride them out, I think it'll be fine. Having said that, my feelings aren't the same for private label on Amazon. Not a massive fan of private label on Amazon unless you've been doing it forever. If you've been doing it forever, that's different. But if you're a new seller, I don't know. I think for another time. You seen any, Karen, you want to answer?
I don't think so. We're running out of time for this one.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. So we've got another. Go on.
So I think we've got loads more questions in here, and we've got a Q&A coming up. So maybe we can answer them all in the Q&A, or we can just stay here now and keep answering questions forever.
No, I think some people might
stay until we've answered them all.
We could, but no, I don't think we're going to do that. Some people are gonna. Jade's like, keep going. No, so yeah. Some people are gonna come. I already thought about this. Maybe not do it at 5:30 and just continue. But some people might be coming in just for the Q&A at 5:30, and I wouldn't want them to feel like they've missed some of it or something like that. So I think we'll stick to what we've planned at first. Have the half-hour break, and then we'll be back for the 6th part, which is Q&A live. You just ask us questions from start to finish. We'll do our very best to answer as many as we can. So thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you in half an hour.
Bye.
Bye-bye.